Hello children. We see many types of living things around us, from tiny insects to bulky trees and animals. If these living things are to survive, then many life activities that have to take place in them. Plants and animals look so different, yet they have certain life activities in common. They are respiration, nutrition, growth, movement, response to stimuli, excretion, and reproduction. These are called life processes. There are several life processes that keep them alive. I am Sai Brahmari, would help you to study one of the life processes, the nutrition in plants, in this lesson, Digestion Part 1 of Class 8 Biology. All organisms require food. Why is food essential? Where do organisms get food from? You have already learned that some organisms can prepare their own food. Such organisms are called autotrophs. All green plants are autotrophs. Green plants prepare their food by a process called photosynthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means preparing or putting together. At the time of origin of life, the earth had more carbon dioxide. Gradually, algae and primitive plants started appearing. These algae and the other lower plants utilized this carbon dioxide to prepare food and in turn gave back oxygen to the atmosphere. Thus, the level of oxygen increased in the Earth's atmosphere, which is also a reason for newer kinds of life forms to emerge on Earth. Learning outcomes. After studying this chapter, you will be able to define life process, experimentally prove that carbon dioxide is required for photosynthesis, appreciate the role of photosynthesis in bringing about biodiversity, differentiate between light and dark reactions, prepare a transverse section of leaf, use a microscope to view specimen. Keywords: nutrition, respiration, photosynthesis, stomata, chloroplast, chlorophyll, grana, stroma, light reaction, dark reaction, epiphytes, saprophytes, mutualism, symbiosis. Let's see the nutrition in plants and examples in this concept map. Photosynthesis is a chemical reaction. Like in any of the other chemical reactions, there will be reactants and products in photosynthesis also. Reactants may also be considered as raw materials. What are the raw materials required for photosynthesis? Let us explore this with the help of the following experiment. Experiment to show that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. Take two potted plants which are kept in a dark room for 2 days. Mark one of the pots as A and the other as B. Place a beaker containing potassium hydroxide solution next to plant A and a beaker containing sodium bicarbonate solution next to plant B. Cover both pots separately by bell jars or polythene bags. Take precautions such that air does not enter the polythene bags. Place both the potted plants side by side in a well lit room for about 48 hours. Why should the potted plants be kept in a dark room for about 48 hours before beginning the experiment? This is because it uses all the starch synthesized by leaves previously. What is the role of potassium hydroxide and sodium bicarbonate? The potassium hydroxide in plant A absorbs all the carbon dioxide inside the polythene bag and therefore plant A fails to perform photosynthesis. The sodium bicarbonate placed in plant B releases carbon dioxide and enables photosynthesis. From the above experiment, it can be concluded that carbon dioxide is required for plants to prepare food in the form of starch. Is carbon dioxide the only raw material used by plants for photosynthesis? No. They are also require sunlight and water. You know that roots absorb water and mineral nutrients from soil. How does carbon dioxide enter the plant body? We shall find the answer by conducting the following activity. Cut a thin section of nerium leaf along the midrib. Place the section in a petri dish containing water. Place this leaf section on a microscope slide. Add a drop of water and cover the specimen with the help of a cover slip. Observe the minute openings on the surface of the leaf. The minute openings which you have observed are called stomata. Carbon dioxide enters the plant body through stomata. Apart from starch, oxygen is also a product of photosynthesis. Let us examine this with the help of the following experiment to show that oxygen is released during photosynthesis. Take two troughs filled with water. Add a few crystals of sodium bicarbonate to both. Place hydrilla plants in both troughs and invert large funnels over them. Take two test tubes. Place small piece of steel wool into their bottoms. Fill the test tubes with water and invert them over the narrow ends of each funnel. Place one of the troughs in a bright sunny area, whereas the other trough in a dark cupboard for about 48 hours. Initially, the gas is collected into a test tube and appears as air bubbles. Testing the gas collected in the test tubes by introducing splinters confirms the gas released as oxygen. As stated earlier, photosynthesis is a chemical reaction. It can be represented with the help of an equation. Where does the photosynthesis take place in leaves? It occurs in an organelle called chloroplast. Photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplast. For a better understanding of the photosynthetic process, it is important to know the structure of a chloroplast. The chloroplast contains two major regions called grana and stroma. These two regions are involved in two different phases of photosynthesis called light dependent reaction, which is also called light reaction, light independent reaction is also called dark reaction. Light dependent reaction. The light dependent reaction takes place in the presence of sunlight in the grana region. During this reaction, water is decomposed into hydroxyl and hydrogen ions with the help of light energy. Oxygen is given out by plants in this phase. Light energy is converted to chemical energy and is stored in the form of ATP. What is the use of chemical energy that has been released during the light reaction? This energy is used to prepare starch during light independent reaction. Light independent reaction. In this reaction, carbon dioxide is reduced to starch, utilizing the energy released during light dependent reaction. This reaction takes place in the stroma region. By now, you are able to differentiate between the two phases of photosynthesis. What if the sun would not have been present? Plants could not have chloroplast. The soil did not contain all the essential nutrients required for plant growth. Will plants survive in the absence of these factors? If not all, some plants can survive by fighting some of the odds. When the soil is poor in nitrogen, plants try to obtain nitrogen by other means. Here is a group of photosynthetic plants that obtain nitrogen by trapping and digesting insects. Such plants are called insectivorous plants. Example: Drosera, Nepenthes. Some plants grow on trees. These plants capable of photosynthesis take shelter in the host tree. Such plants are called epiphytes. Example: orchids. Can animals prepare their own food? Not only the animals, but bacteria and fungi also cannot prepare their food. These organisms are called heterotrophs. Their mode of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition. Do you know about compost? Compost is obtained by the decomposition of organic matter. It is an excellent nutrient supplement for agricultural fields. How does this decomposition take place? Thanks to fungi and bacteria, which feed on organic matter by decomposing the same. Hence, bacteria and fungi are called saprophytes. Take a few slices of bread, sprinkle a few drops of water on them. Keep them aside for 2 days. You will find a spongy material appearing on the slices of bread. Observe these spongy materials under a compound microscope. Sometimes you might have seen blackish or grayish spongy material on the inner surface of broken coconut. Observe them under a compound microscope. These are fungi. How do fungi derive nutrition? Fungi derive their nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. Have you ever been advised of deworming by a doctor? You might have heard or seen worms by being eliminated in the feces. From where would these worms get nutrition? Were they of any use to host persons in whom they were found? These worms were in the intestine. They had taken shelter and nutrition from the host. But they are of no use to the host. Such worms are called parasites. Many times they are found to be harmful and fatal also. It would have been so nice if the organisms that take shelter and nutrition from us had been helpful to us. Then we could have applied the statement, "A friend in need is a friend indeed," to organisms also. Not all organisms are our enemies. There are mutually beneficial organisms too. You might have heard of bacteria called E. coli present in our intestines. What would happen if they were not present? Then we should have been taking B complex tablets and injections regularly. These E. coli bacteria take shelter and nutrition from us and in return provide us the vital B complex vitamins. Here both humans and the bacteria are mutually benefited. The mode of nutrition observed in E. coli bacteria is called mutualism or symbiosis. Points to remember. The life processes include respiration, nutrition, growth, movement, response to stimuli, excretion, and reproduction. These are similar both in plants and animals. Some organisms can prepare their own food and are called autotrophs. All green plants are autotrophs and prepare their food by a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a chemical reaction utilizing sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water, producing starch, oxygen, and water. Photosynthesis occurs in chloroplasts. Photosynthetic plants growing in nitrogen poor soils obtain nitrogen by trapping and digesting insects. Such plants are called insectivorous plants. The fungi and bacteria feed on organic matter and decompose it and are called saprophytes. The E. coli bacteria get shelter and nutrition from us and provide us the vital B complex vitamins, and this is called mutualism or symbiosis.